Spiral, dial, sci-fi with a soundscape.
Hello. I'm so happy that you're here with me.
Well, it's great to meet you, Liza.
Yes. Oh, it's so nice. And Todd, we have spoken a few times on virtual kind of, conversations and things. Yeah. So Todd's an amazing composer, and I'm kind of obsessed with your work on the music and poetry of Zakesh, the Grimm, which is how I first came across you. Todd also gave us some amazing synth samples for Spiral Dial Series 4, which I really want to find out more about. But yeah, it would be wonderful if instead of me blathering on, you could introduce yourself as well.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Todd Barton, basically a composer, performer, sonic adventurer. Have been doing music all my life. So, and had as a kid, I wanted to try it all, and now that I'm old, I have tried most all the things I've ever wanted. Anything from, there was a long time where I just did early music, so played recorder and Baroque trumpet. Time where I played jazz, time where I played classical music, time where I, for 40 years, composed music for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. So did incidental music. Composition for 40 years, and then these last 13 years of retirement have been devoted to my electronic music obsession.
Yeah, and you really have done it all, because you're also a recorder player.
Yeah.
Yes, which is incredible. And I've heard some of your playing actually at that amazing venue that you sent me. Remind me what it's called. It was a very beautiful acoustic in a kind of surround.
Right, it's the Tank, and it's in northwestern Colorado here in the States. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 40 seconds of natural reverb.
It sounds incredible, and actually I think that's on YouTube as well, so maybe I can hook the link for that in the details, so that you can have a little listen. But I'm really also fascinated because you've done so many amazing things, and obviously working with music and narrative, and we also used some of your work with Ursula Le Guin in my piece Off the Agenda, which was a couple of years ago. We did.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. That's I think when I was first in touch with you, and I asked, can I use a sample of this in this piece, and you very kindly said yes. So it's not the first time that we have met your musical output. But yeah, I was absolutely honored, and I'm just interested as well because obviously you've worked theatre, you worked with just pure music and with the electronics, and how do you see the kind of links between those three things?
Well, let's see. I've always been fascinated with poetry and words, so the obsession to particularly poetry has been there since a kid. The growing up doing acoustical music, jazz and classical, and then getting into early music and playing recorder and Baroque trumpet and crumhorn and shawm. What fascinated me most was the timbres, the different colors of these early instruments. Mm. And so when I it was actually through a friend who was also into early music, but he had already had a career in electronic music. His name was Doug Gleedy, and he's the first one that ever turned me on to a Buchla music easel in the mid-70s, when I was doing a lot of performances in Portland of early music, Baroque and Renaissance. And one day he said, "Hey, do you know what this is?" And I go, "No." And he let me play with it for 3 days, and it blew my mind, because all of a sudden I could create new timbres that I'd never heard before. So the link for me among all music is timbre.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. Actually, I think talking about timbre, when I first come across electronic music was when I was playing in the Animal Spirits, actually, and it was interesting playing the recorder with the modular synth, and then actually they're very close in timbre.
Yeah, as well, especially sine and triangle waves.
Yeah, but even if you start with a recorder and you put it through a bunch of effects, I suppose, because you're always basically going back to the sine and triangle waves anyway, and then you can make everything else from that, really.
Yeah.
So it's just very similar as soon as you start getting into electronic recorder music, and then it just kind of forms that bridge, I suppose, between this sound that people are associating very much with, you know, early music, Renaissance music, and then you can really mess with it and make it into anything you like, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, for some reason, I, as a woodwind player myself, you know, I play lots of different woodwind instruments like clarinet, saxophone, all the rest of it, but none of the other ones seem to work quite as well as a recorder.
Yeah, I think it's because of that pure sound.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Have you tried any electronic manipulation of crumb horns?
I haven't. That would, yeah, I mean, boy, they're like some sort of like, they already have such high harmonic content, you know.
Yeah.
So
There's nowhere to go from there.
right. Yeah.
Right.
They eat up the bandwidth. So I guess, you know, that's when low pass filters or high pass filters would, or you know, big bank band pass filters might be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, in terms of the sample you actually sent us for this, which is incredible, actually, and I should actually play some of it. It's really, really fantastic. And I wondered how you actually made it.
Oh, this
if you
is,
remember, mostly I make stuff and then I just can't remember how I made it.
yeah,
So
I mean,
impossible.
you had to send it to me because
Yeah.
I record what I'm doing every day. So I have years and years, and you know, there might be one day where I've recorded like 15 pieces or something. They're not pieces, they're more just explorations. I just record my explorations. And sometimes they're interesting, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they have nuggets that I can glean. But yeah, so I found that one. Actually, that was from a year ago. And I'm pretty sure what I was using was the Buchla 200 system, big modular. And it's a variant on a patch I developed years ago called the Krell patch.
The Krell patch. That Krell is a very good name.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was a patch I stumbled onto after years of experimentation. And I named it the Krell as homage to Louis and Bibi Baron, who did all the electronic music for the film Forbidden Planet in 1956. And they built these little standalone feedback modules that would basically start making squealy, squeaky, clicky, throbby sounds and then burn up, explode, fizzle out. So they were self-generating sounds. My Krell patch doesn't do that, but it is self-generating, and unlike Bibi and Louis Baron's, which was based on positive feedback, which means eventually it's going to explode. Mine based on negative feedback, so there's it just keeps going and going and doesn't get out of hand. But,
I mean, it sounds incredible, actually. And I'm not sure. Do you know what I always get with Google Meets? I'm never sure if we can hear the audio or not. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
You just hear that sound coming through of your
Oh, you're playing something now?
Did you hear it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let's try it again, and I'm gonna share my screen, and then hopefully you hear. So this is the sample that you sent.
Okay.
Us. Here we go. Is that coming through?
No, I wonder if there's some sound suppression on oh, here we go. Yeah, I remember you asked for something sort of way out there, so that felt like it was way out there.
It is way out there, and I absolutely love it. It's still playing my end. So I've got to there we go. Okay, it's gone now. Okay, it's amazing. I love it. And so this is all generated by this patch. So how much input have you had in terms of, controlling it?
I wasn't controlling it at all. It's
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
Not to get too technical. It takes a function generator, like it's an attack decay envelope that self-cycles, and then I send randomness into its attack and decay.
Yeah.
So it gives us asymmetric timings, and each time it hits, it's going to a random generator, which is randomizing timbre and cross modulation. I mean, everything's getting randomized, so you just never know what's about to come. That's what I like the patches. I can sit and go, oh, it's like we heard those really gnarly low sounds, and then all of a sudden there was like a pure sound just comes out, or they sprinkle and then go back. So that's just all part of the nature of the patch.
Yeah, I mean, to me it kind of really was reminiscent of sea creatures, which I guess
that's nice.
Right, what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's just really interesting, because I mean, obviously there's a lot of water in this series of spiral dials. So yeah, that we ended up with this being dolphins.
Oh, nice.
I mean, yeah.
Some rather intense dolphins.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's really interesting, actually, in terms of like being sent kind of samples and then not knowing anything about it, and then obviously we've got this story, and then you're trying to then fit it into the story, and it's really it's quite fascinating, because this happened a few times, that one of the other samples I was sent it was from a piece about an island, and then it ended up being in an island episode, which is
nice.
really, yeah. And so then effectively you sent me the kind of alien monster sounds.
Yes, indeed.
Which also have ended up being kind of alien monsters, because dolphins are
yeah.
It's close, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's really, really fascinating. So with the patch, then effectively the variables you've got in there, then it's just like attack, decay, kind of pitch. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of kind of modulation there going on, isn't there? I'm really interested in how it works. And is it in Max, or is it in?
No, it's in the Buchla.
It's in the
Buchla system. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Depending on how technical, I'm happy to go technical on this. I mean,
let's do it.
So it's a cycling function generator with attack decay, and those attacks and decays are randomized. Those then are sent to a VCA. So the envelope is always changing. It's sometimes fading in, sometimes sharp attack, sometimes fade in, fade out. And then random pitches to probably 2 oscillators that are cross modulated. And I usually turn them way down in pitch, and the random stuff coming at it is a very big range. So you can get everything from low to very high. In the Buchla world, the oscillator I was probably using is the 259, which means like it's all about wave folding. So I'm randomizing the timbre knob, which is the wave folder. And then there's symmetry, which actually makes it tends toward like a spike or a sawtooth wave. And then there's symmetry, which can make it go more towards like a square wave. So the waves are shifting all the time. And then the modulation index between the two oscillators is also randomized.
Right. Yeah, I thought it's interesting because it sounded very deliberate. So yeah, it's I think it's fascinating. How much experimentation of the settings did you have to do to get it into Krell territory?
Well, at this point, I can get there pretty quickly. When I'd always wanted to try to create some patch like this, and I would, in the early days, like 2010, sort of finally. It wasn't until 2012 when I retired that I had time, but I spent months just exploring stuff, and then one day this patch just sort of emerged, yeah, you might be interested in hearing the very first one, which is on my SoundCloud. I think it's called.
Yeah, where is that? Let me find this, and then maybe we can listen to it.
I imagine if you type in Todd Barton,
Krell,
and then Muzak.
Yeah, Krell Muzak 1.
That's the one.
Okay, amazing.
Very recorder-like.
Really fascinating how that is between the kind of a recorder type kind of signy sound, and like you say, between the kind of more square sound of it's almost like a clarinet, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it or even veering towards a kind of oboe, but I think it's like the top range of the clarinet.
Yeah,
that's very, very cool. And it's almost like the sample you sent me, but it's very, very, very slow motion.
Yeah,
in terms of the changes.
Yeah,
I mean, it does sound it sounds very deliberate. It sounds very organic.
Yeah, it feels, what I've always tried to do is make electronic music breathe. And that, that one breathes. You can actually take a breath between the phrases, which with often electronic music doesn't breathe. It just powers on.
Right, exactly. I mean, I think it's interesting. There's so many different approaches, I suppose, within electronic music. But for me, it boils down to two. One is the click track, clips in Ableton that are playing, a set tempo, and everything's got to be 120 beats a minute, etc. Quantized to hell, and it's completely mechanized. We're in the matrix then.
Right. Yeah.
And the other thing is completely free form, uncontrollable organisms that are like I suppose a joint organism, like an organic and electronic organism. And I think your music is definitely the latter.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I aspire to organisms.
Right, because live electronics is really hard to control. I've been doing it for a little while now, only since 2019, as I say. That's my first experience of electronics, and actually of doing it myself then since probably 2020. So it's 5 years. It's not very long compared to your kind of lifetime of experimentation. But it always really surprises me that there's so many variables, and so if you want to have something that's precise and the same every time, you're taking all of the performance out of it.
Yeah.
Really. And it's not something I'm prepared to do. I suppose I grew up with I don't know if you have in the US, but in the UK, you have like MEU stickers like "Keep Music Live," and they were around in the 80s. You know, everyone had them on their case. I don't think we've really succeeded because, you know, obviously Muzak's playing everywhere you go now. But yeah, I just remember those stickers. I think it's really important, you know, to you're doing a performance for people and they've paid to see you, then you need to be doing something live that can go wrong. And
it's risk, and breathing, the audience and the performers are breathing the same air.
And you co-create that, then you co-create that experience together, and you know, that's the theatrical aspect of it then.
Absolutely.
Which as I suppose where we, you know, going with the Spiral Dial was, you know, that it's literally recorded live and it's read live, so that the narrator, he hasn't read the story before, and it's all it all happens, you know, in the room, and we record it, and it's dirty, you know. Well, like you said, there's risk, and you know, if there's no risk, I'm actually not sort of interested. Excellent. Well, I mean, I love this. I love this very much. I mean, it's interesting in this episode, I think is the one that I'm just gonna try and find actually the right place in the episode where we can hear some of the samples and what happened. The approach I really took to the samples was that I had a little Ableton set up, because I've never really worked. I've worked playing with modular in the Animal Spirits, but I've never been a modular person myself. I'm completely in the box.
Okay.
So I would love to get into the booklet and to do that, but I just find that there's so many things to do in Ableton with the patches in there that I haven't really got to that stage. Also, I can't carry any more gear.
Well, there you have. Yeah.
Especially not with this back the way it's going.
And Ableton's a great platform for all of that.
Yeah. What's your feeling on that? Are you a kind of either or? Are you very much modular above everything, you know, kind of analog above digital, or do you have strong feelings either way about that?
I don't necessarily have strong feelings for, you know, the 40 years I composed for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. At the beginning, there was just tape recorders. So we had like 3 Ampexes and would bounce 2 tracks and tape loops. So did the whole music concrete thing. Would record in studios, carry 10.5-inch reels, edit on tape, and then then what came in, I guess there was early like samplers that were often used in radio stations, you know, like carts and things. And so then went to CDs and mini discs and DATs and multi-tracks, yada, yada, yada. Eventually, near the end, when I was composing like 3 or 4 shows at one time, I definitely needed to be in the box and performing all the parts, you know. If it was going to be something semi-orchestral, then it was like in the box in MIDI. Back then, it was Digital Performer for me. And now I use Logic. I did use Ableton for a while, but I found myself, you know, scrolling through, curate and find sounds that I needed to create the specific cues for the play. And I did that for a long, long time. So once I retired, it was like, nah, I don't have to scroll through stuff and do this anymore. I can start learning to feel the sound with either pressure, you know, body capacitance plates where I'm actually touching the sound. And that's what excites me now.
So having kind of fingers on knobs.
Knobs or pressure plates or switches or sliders. I find it performative, which is, you know, how I grew up as a performer. So I need that immediate feedback.
I think that's definitely true. I mean, it's interesting. I think now we've got computers to do everything, but in some ways they make everything harder work. you know, the act of sitting at a computer, not only does it ruin our back, but I kind of feel like it also disrupts the brain. So I try and, you know, I guess when I'm doing an Ableton session, I try and get it to be hands-free. You know, I don't have to look at the computer while we're playing. You know, I have a lot of, I use a lot of, you know, effects racks and synths racks, and just sort of scroll through it and have like things to turn on and off, and it then gets very complicated. But I think just to have that same experience of I'm just playing, obviously we've got controls and everything, but I don't want to be sitting there staring at the computer, and certainly not in a live contest, because that's extremely to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know the work of Sarah Bell Reed?
No, actually.
Oh, you might want to check her out. She plays trumpet, and she's developed interface for her trumpet that goes into Max MSP. And so it has gravitometers and pressure, and it's calculating velocity. And so she can actually play something, and the computer will give something back to her that then she can dialogue with.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely would like to check that out. I'm actually doing some work to redesign the robo recorder, which is, you know, I've got a plastic recorder with a circuit board on it, and effectively it's just spitting out MIDI note on, note off, basically. So I've got controls on there, and then I can use that to control whatever is on Ableton with those mappings. We built another version of it that has also an accelerometer on it, and gyrometer, so that you can then use position data.
Nice.
And it's but it's a little bit unwieldy in terms of it's not wireless. And so we're kind of looking into how can I do this and be hands-free. I think a lot of the wind synths that you see these days are taking out the woodwind instrument, and they're purely electronic instruments, which for me is just not, it's not gritty enough. You know, you've not got that analog element. I think it's very important. And I don't want, you know, a pickup on there. I want to have a real recorder sound, and then have a microphone so I can have dynamics and everything. So, and use the kind of proximity effects on the SM58 to be able to, you know, alter the sound. So I think it's, I think that's really important. So I'm just looking into ways of doing it. So it might be really interesting to check out what she's doing and see how that works. Do you know if she's using a pickup, or is she using just the trumpet as a control of a Max MSP or anything like that? Or
She's created her own interface, which is like wraps around the valve, and so there's pressure, velocity, gravitometer, accelerometer, all those things. But it's a proprietary interface that she and her partner have created. So
amazing! I would definitely check this out, because I feel like it's, with technology, as you know, then you're always looking for a better way to do it.
Sure. Yeah. Or go back to Imogene Heap, right?
Yeah. And actually, I've been speaking with Drake Music. I don't know if you know them. They're a fantastic organization working with disability and technology. And technologist Tom actually worked on Mumu with Imogen.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So, and hopefully maybe speaking about getting him perhaps involved on doing some of this work as well. So we'll but I've never actually met Imogen, but I would love to meet her.
Same here.
Yeah, I saw her speak at South by Southwest London, but I didn't get to meet her in person. So it would be amazing. She's got a studio in East London.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Me. But yeah, I think it's fascinating actually, in terms of how people set things up and the way that controls then what you come out. So for instance, with the Krell patch, just literally you've created this monster and alien being, and then you just let it off the leash and it does the job. And it's incredible. It's so good.
Good, thank you. Something came up, I think it's on my SoundCloud. It's called diastems.
Diastems.
No, there's diastems, and then there's diastems 2, but diastems 1 was a piece I wrote for a recorder.
Let's have a little look. Diastems. I'm on your SoundCloud at the moment.
Yeah, keep going. It's going to have a picture of a recorder as the thumbnail. So don't know if it's there yet. Getting closer. Yeah, it's really old. So down.
Lament. Shakuhachi. Multiphonic Adventure. I kind of like the sound of that. Yes. Cool.
Yeah, that's sending the shakuhachi through a ring modulator, basically.
Amazing.
Huh.
We've got
there we are.
Fantastic. Here we go.
Yeah, so you get the idea.
I love those. I love the multiphonics. Those are awesome. So good. I think it's like I don't know. I like and the vocalization down the recorder. I think it's interesting. Just the effect, obviously, that has in terms of the subtones that you can pick up. Yeah, very, very nice. What was the so diastems? Where does this come from? The name?
It's Greek for intervals. So the fact that there's more than one interval going on there.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love that. I think it's interesting. I always find with the multiphonics that I always find the tenor the kind of easiest one, or the lower the recorder gets, then the easier the multiphonics get.
Yeah,
is that
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's same with shakuhachi. My big long shakuhachis have just a whole wonderful high world of harmonics up there.
Yeah. I use it quite a lot with the tenor and then singing into the multiphonic, and then you get a really nice kind of bass note, like just right underneath, and that you can put up with a little bit of overdrive through the mic. So it's kind of one of my little kind of techniques to make the recorder sound really huge.
Yep. Good one.
Yeah, no, right, which I enjoy. But I feel like in a way you don't need the bass recorder because it's quite big to carry around, but you can get the tenor through. If you put it through a sound system, then it's going to sound huge anyway as soon as you start using techniques like that. But you've got wonderful deep voice as well, which obviously you don't have.
Well, back in the day, as a teenager, I was playing tenor recorder in rock bands. And so I had octave dividers on it. So
nice.
So, I could really open up the range that way.
I love this. So when was this? This was like in
the 60s, 70s. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And is there any recordings of this available?
Probably not. We were all just young and just zipping around doing stuff. I mean, it wasn't a named rock band or anything, just playing for friends.
Yeah, because when I started, because I trained classically and then I got music triggered epilepsy, which sent everything a little bit haywire, so I couldn't play properly anymore. And then when I came back to playing, the thing I started with actually was playing in a rock band, and we were playing stuff like Iron Maiden.
Right.
like I remember doing, we were at some just jam, and you say, oh, can you play like Wasted Years on the recorder? No, I was like, yeah, of course.
Nice.
Playing this guitar solo on the recorder, and everyone's like, wow, we've never heard that before. But clearly they just hadn't heard your band.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Wish I could have heard your solo.
Probably is out there somewhere. I don't know where. There are recordings of it somewhere. But yeah, I could probably get. I think all of that stuff is just very similar. You know, Baroque music and prog rock is basically the same as far as I'm concerned. It's just kind of a different sound world, but I don't really see that much difference. You know, in terms of approach. You know, ornamentation. I kind of feel like they're very allied to each other. So
yeah, good point. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. And I mean, then that was kind of really how it got started, I suppose, on improvising. And yeah, because within rock music, it's just expected that everyone can do that. I think within classical music, when you grow up, then now, certainly, I don't know if it's the case then, but playing Baroque music, it's a real emphasis on making sure it's played properly and it's authentic and it's correct ornamentation. But then actually in the actual tradition, it was all improvised, right?
Well, not all, but yeah, improvisation was a big part of it. Yeah,
it was. And then now it's kind of all gone. Then from, I suppose some kind of ensembles do that, but the kind of, certainly when I was at Dolmetsch, I don't know if I went to Dolmetsch recorder summer schools when I was younger, and it was this is how you play this modern, and this is how you play that modern, and it was kind of like that. So it was really surprised to me to find out, oh, actually, you know, this was all improvised. So it was really kind of to learn that. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, what we're doing then in Spiral Dial is we're taking all this stuff and we're just completely making it up on the musical front. So just making the setup, and then the story happens, it gets read out, and then whatever happens with the music happens.
Wow.
So
Nice.
your sounds ended up in a few episodes, actually.
Oh, cool.
One hasn't come out yet, and I'm just trying to find actually a good part of it. Let me just see. I think I'll have to share the screen to hear the audio, actually. Here we go. Hopefully this works. Let's see where we are.
Completely encased in crystal, there was no air for him to breathe.
So,
Panicked, Jessica released the bubble, but it only released him back into the tank. He floated lifelessly in the water. How could she have been so stupid? The need for air had simply not crossed her mind. Fortunately, the dolphins were quick to act, pushing him to the surface of the water and pummeling him with their noses. Jessica had almost given up hope when he took a deep breath and vomited up a large amount of water.
So you can hear the dolphin sound. So I can't remember what we actually did there, but I think what happened was I've got these wristbands that are Sony One wristbands. I don't know if you've heard those or seen those. Oh. They're like MIDI wristbands, and you put them on, and basically they've got the accelerometer and the gyrometer on them. So then you program them, and then basically I chopped up your samples and I popped them into the dolphins were with us. So obviously while I'm playing the recorder, then we can have the dolphins interjecting in real time.
Nice. Well, this the very first piece I ever worked on with Ursula Le Guin was a radio drama she did. And it was all about these underwater creatures. And they didn't know what the land was or what was actually up there at the surface. What was
it called? Because I don't know if I've heard that one.
I think it was called Amazing Grace.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
And I don't know if it's still available. It was on a science fiction series called The Curve of Wonder. And it was produced by David Ossman from Firesign Theater. So
Amazing. I have to check this out for sure. We did actually another underwater, talking of underwater themes, if I can find it on my SoundCloud. I was at Real World Studios and we did like a 3D piece.
Okay, you were at Real World Studios? Wow.
I know. It was very nice. Yeah. So I was selected for this experimental audio camp, and the idea was to like reimagine 3D audio and how we can do different things with it. And so I wrote this little narrative, which was how Real World Studios could be taken over by psychoacoustic sea creatures.
Nice.
So yeah, and so this is another underwater one. That's actually I share this in the replay a little bit. So it starts with
nice.
it all starts off quite watery, and then we go to a we're going into like and the idea was that we're jamming and we don't quite know what's going to happen, and then
Wow.
I think I can miss it. So at the end, this is really cool, we actually did, then there's a little vocal section at the end, and what we did was we actually dropped a hydrophone off the roof and reamped it through the floor, because you know at Real World they have this amazing kind of pond out of the front which forms part of the soundproofing, and I was just like, I bet you can just record it then through the water and
Nice.
it'll sound really cool. So the end bit,
oh wow.
and it kind of just gradually fades out. It's recorded through the water.
Nice.
So it goes from the sound inside to outside. So that was kind of my little underwater excursion.
That's very cool.
In Atmos. So that was my little thing. But we did the album at Real World, actually. We did it on their standby rate. So I went back there for 2 days and we did an album in 2 days for the end times. That was really insane. It's such an amazing space. Have you been there?
No, just fantasized about it since it was, reading about it being built in the trade journals back in the 70s, going, I gotta, it seems like the best studio ever.
It is amazing. I gotta say, it's kind of like a fantasy studio. Like you go there and it's like something out of Lord of the Rings. I don't know if that's inspiration, but because you've got the grass and the kind of, it is like a Hobbit house, except it's obviously amazing kind of everything you want, and the way it's set up, like the accommodation, you can just like you stay there. They've got like a chef who's making amazing food, like French.
Yeah.
But it's also very relaxed. Like it's not like a stressful place to be.
That's what it seems like from what I've seen. I've seen walkthroughs and various people talk about their experience there, and so good to know.
Yeah. I feel like also they would love to have you at Real World. They would. I feel like it would be like a kind of dream combination that should happen. Like I don't know how we make this happen, but I feel like it would. Are you ever coming to the UK?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been all. Last time I was in the UK was 2020, so I think
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would anything tempt you to come back here?
We'll see. Don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. They're really nice people at Real World, and they run these kind of things all the time in terms of like bringing people together and having audio camps and all the rest of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely look into that. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I feel like it would be amazing
Yeah.
to have. They've got everything there, and I didn't even, you know, the times I've been there, you never have time to look at everything. I think that's the thing. So the head engineer there, Katie, is fantastic. Like, she's really, really brilliant, and she was luckily recorded the album, which was really nice.
Is that album out?
The End Times, yes, it's out, and it was like, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to go listen to that later this week.
It was probably, do you know what? It was amazing, but I think to record a full album live in 2 days at Real World it's very stressful. It was very stressful. But I was pleased with how it came out, I think. And I think that's the whole thing with doing stuff live, is that you're not going to get it perfect. But I think if you are in that kind of space, then you can just make something like unique. That's a one-off experience, you know?
Yeah. Well, the energy can be right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's really, really an amazing space. I definitely want to go back there. So I think, you know, just a matter of money, isn't it? An opportunity. So what do you have planned then coming up? What are your plans?
Keep doing what I do, explore sounds every day. And I've been invited back to my alma mater. I graduated from the Conservatory of Music at the University of Pacific. So next month I'm going there to give a couple of lectures and a concert. So that's the most thing on the horizon. And then in February, I'm going to do like a solo presentation, talk, some music at the Oregon Contemporary Museum in Portland. They're doing like a 3-month retrospective of Ursula Le Guin's work.
Oh.
I mean, the whole, and actually my daughter, Ursula, is doing the art direction and doing some murals in the space. And so I think February 7th or 8th, something, the day it closes, I'm going to give sing some Kesh songs, play some Kesh music, and talk about that whole experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Is your daughter named after Ursula?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Oh, I know. I'm the end of the 24th. I'm giving. I'm checking into a friend of mine, Aileen Delane at University of Leeds. She's an teaches ethnomusicology, and she found music and poetry of the Kesh years ago, and has been unfolding it and analyzing it as if it were real music. So she's applying her ethnomusic.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, I mean, she's looking at it as an ethnomusicologist would.
Right. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's real music for sure. But
imaginary worlds are not less real than the actual world, surely. What are we trying to say here?
Yeah. but to bring that ethnomusicology lens to something that is a fictitious culture, right?
Yeah.
And so she gave a talk at Trinity College in Dublin a few months ago, and then she's doing, I think September 24th is the 40th anniversary of Always Coming Home, which has music and poetry of the Kesh with it. So she's giving a talk at University of Leeds, and I'm going to zoom in for that.
Oh, amazing. I mean, like, it seems real. Like it seems real. Like it just listening to the music, it creates that world.
Yeah, well, we spent. She had her family homesteads in the Napa Valley of California, which is actually sort of where Always Coming Home is set. And I went down there for 5 days with a field recorder, and we'd get up before sunrise and sit in the meadow and just record the whole world coming alive. And then at nighttime, we'd sit around the campfire and talk and sing and then walks through the whole landscape terrain there. So all the natural sounds you hear were recorded, by me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it is incredible the way it all comes together. And I think also probably then the relationship, I suppose, between you and Ursula comes across. Obviously, I don't know, what that was, but it seems that, it's a very powerful kind of symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, we definitely clicked. Yeah, and we worked on this for 2 years. So it was a wonderful experience. And then afterwards, a few years later, she translated the Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, which is an amazing translation. And then she called me up and said, "Hey, can I come down? We hang out in your studio for days and make an audio version of her translation." Basically, I just improvised. And she said, "But I don't want to always be in the foreground. If I fade and you go in the foreground, that's cool." She was totally up for experimenting.
Yeah. I think, did you record all of that as well?
Yeah, it came out on Shambhala. It's available.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I have to also check. There's so much stuff that I need to listen to as well. It's very, very exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just incredible also to see your studio as well. I assume this is your studio that we're looking at.
This is the basement of the house. The studio is detached and out in the back, surrounded by trees. It's a mini world studio.
So you've got 2 studios.
Yeah, basically.
Amazing. That's so good. Yeah, I've only got the 1 studio, but it's also in my garden actually. So we're in my garden. Yeah.
And you're not 76, so there's time.
Yeah, getting there. Oh my OMG. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just I think with Ursula's work, especially relevant really today, as we're looking at disintegration of our political system in a lot of places, and I think that there's not many people making work that's actually speaking these truths really in a powerful way. So I think it's very important that people are thinking about what's happening in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty, it's a new it's a new territory.
Yeah.
Which is,
I just got some funding to make this project. So it's called Witch Army, the working title, and it's an anti-propaganda project. So it's like how to make music that is anti-propaganda without in itself becoming propaganda.
Very good.
And so then I've got this funding now, and I'm like, oh my OMG, how am I going to do it?
That's a good problem to have.
It's a big question. It's a big question. So I want to ask for you then, what music for you says propaganda to you? What's the piece of music that you think this is the best musical example of propaganda ever?
Propaganda. Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day as a kid, it was, marching bands.
Right. Yeah.
But, that was, yeah. And everything's so diverse right now. I don't know. What is it for you?
So my number one is, for a while I've been thinking about this, is We'll Meet Again. It's kind of a really British song, so I don't know if.
Oh yeah, wasn't that World War II or something?
World War II, yeah, like World War II, like we'll meet again, don't know where. And I just think the nostalgic aspect of it, and the kind of, war is actually really nice because we're going to see each other one day soon, and you won't have bits missing or be in a box, obviously, because they're going to gloss over that little bit of it. Yeah, it's, for me, it sort of glamorizes war, I suppose. It's making people feel better about being at war, and I don't think that we should be making people feel better about being at war. But it's not obviously it's not like a national anthem or something that you're like, yeah, okay, this is propaganda, but that's what it's for, and we all know that's what it's for.
I see. Yeah, this is much more subtle.
Yeah, it's more insidious, exactly. So I think that works better because it makes people feel good about the status quo, which is not what you want people to say, no, we don't want to be fighting each other, let's stop.
Sure, yeah, well, and today, of course, is the 24th anniversary of 9/11 for us here in the United States. So
Yeah, and awful.
yeah.
No.
And my walk this morning, I was remembering 2 or 3 days after that, I wrote a rather sprawling piece called Threnody, which was basically working through that experience, you know. So,
I think I may have heard some of this, but not for a long time. I certainly read about the
yeah,
work on.
it's on the SoundCloud there, you know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, were you kind of personally affected by 9/11?
not, I mean, I didn't have anyone that died in the towers, but I mean, it was just such a mind-boggling, you know, it was a beautiful day here on the West Coast. And a friend and I were about, actually, it was like, you know, very early in the morning, sun coming up, and we were going to play. We were on the first tee of a golf course.
Oh gosh.
And somebody came running out of the clubhouse and said, hey, you got to get in here. And we got in there just to watch the towers get hit. So it was like, yeah, it did a number. And so part of my therapy or processing, I guess, what in Japanese shakuhachi music and Zen Japanese shakuhachi music, there's a piece called tamuke, which means offering, and it's often played at memorials as an offering for a safe passage to the other shore. And so in Zen and in Buddhist traditions, sort of 40 days in the bardo is the transition period. And so I played that every morning. I got up and played that in honor of the victims of that for 40 days. So
that's beautiful. I mean, it's just raises the question, really, how can these things happen, you know?
Boy, howdy. Yeah.
Important to remember, actually. And you know, we're all going about our business, and it's easy to forget the horrors of the past. I think at the time that happened, I thought it was a movie. You know, I didn't realize that it was actually, I was working in a hotel and changing bed linen. And it's like a student job, and I was and yeah, I just was like, oh, they keep playing this disaster movie, you know, and I didn't understand because it didn't seem real. You know, it didn't seem real.
No, yeah, I hear that. I understand.
Yeah, it was just, and actually it still then doesn't seem real even now, so far, you know, down the road, that you feel like maybe we haven't kind of learned the lessons that we need to learn from that.
Yeah, well, inhumanity is amazing, that there's seemingly so much of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's, as musicians, I think it's important to be able to, you know, and as you did, to be able to actually speak to that and to be able to put that into something without words. I think it's incredibly powerful, you know. I think mourning and grief is something that you can't really conceptualize in words.
I would agree.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's but it's difficult to know. I think as an artist just now, I think at this time it's important to be making work that really is I suppose has something to say about the world and how we want it to be, because we're in this little island of, you know, democracy now, and historically they haven't lasted very long, so we want to keep it going, and as long as we can anyway. So I don't know, I feel like a responsibility that we should maybe all be writing about it. Difficult to do, but yeah, I think for sure, you know, you and Ursula and others, you know, like who have done this, such power, you know, it's a lot to then follow on from that. But I think if we all try it and work together, then I think we can get somewhere. Well,
of course, hang on. some sort of weird phone call came in.
Ah,
Yeah, so that just jumped. Yeah, music and playing together is perfect democracy.
yeah, exactly. Because you transcends barriers, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's collaboration, it's listening, it's being sensitive to each other's breath pattern or sonic pattern of some sort. I mean, it's a perfect model at its best.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting because I've been doing this. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of Key Change. It's like an international pan EU movement to increase gender equity and equity more widely within the music industry. And I'm on their talent leadership program, which has been like a 6-month thing, and it's been really fantastic to kind of bring people from so many different countries together, and not all artists, but all within the music industry and all working towards change. And one thing we haven't done is sit down and have a jam. But it's true, you know, this is funny that you were saying this, you know, music is democracy. It's true, music is democracy. And we're actually sitting in the room talking. We've not sat down and played music with each other.
Well, there you have something on your to-do list. Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, I'm meant to be in Hamburg next week for the wrap-up meeting, and it all depends whether I can walk well enough with my back to go. So really hope and pray that is going to happen, and keep doing the exercises, and then hopefully I can make it there. And maybe we suggest that we have a little bit of, because we're doing a little presentation on belonging and things like this, so maybe we can get people to actually do something, make some noises. At least we're not with instruments, because not everyone, I think, even though they're in the industry, not everyone obviously plays or will have it, but maybe we could make some sounds together.
Yeah, that would be awesome, even if it's just vocals, you know.
Yeah.
A year ago I invited tons of musicians, which was a crazy invitation because I invited them to the Tank, which is really hard to get to. There's no quick way. You can fly to Denver or Salt Lake City, rent a car, and drive either 4 or 5 hours into this high desert, little tiny town. But 10 people showed up from all over the country and all different walks. Their only connection was they knew me. Most of them had never seen or knew of the other people. And we improvised for 12 hours that day in the Tank. And it was
so I would love to do that. That would be amazing. It's like invite myself to your Tank.
Yeah, we all said, you know, the world would be a better place if just everybody could come to the Tank, because the Tank is in a sense alive, and it feeds back to you, you know, and it supports you and encourages you and inspires you.
And I suppose also forces you to take that time to connect, I suppose, just by the very nature of the acoustic. And
exactly,
you're gonna have to really kind of slow. You just breathe, the act of breathing. I imagine if you take a deep breath and then you can just hear it then.
Exactly. In fact, we started in a circle, and I just had everyone make a soft sound of their choice, you know. So it may have been or you know, and then just sort of then did Bezzo forte, then forte.
Amazing.
Begin to feel the Tank.
Yeah, I wish I had a Tank, you know. The acoustic in here is you
can remotely do the Tank. In fact, I was the guinea pig for that. I played by easel, and I had headphones. We used Sonobus, and for some reason they figured out a way so there was no latency. So I would just go boop, and then I'd hear it in real time. And started then, you know, got more and more complex timbrally. And then all of a sudden I heard a voice and I went, I'm not playing that. What's that? And since I couldn't see, one of the sound engineers, Samantha, who's a singer, walked into the tank and started singing. So we improvised a duet.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and, Heinbach just came out with an album that he did remotely in the.
Yeah. I'm looking this up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to listen to this. Yeah, amazing. So is there like also then what the plugin? Where is it?
Well, no, it's not a plugin.
Oh, it's not a plugin.
Yeah, that's metaphorical. It's
Okay.
like, yeah, he paid to remotely record in the tank, and he was talking about the tank as a plugin, because in a sense you're using that.
Okay, so there's no actual plugin of the tank, because I was
No,
just
in
like,
fact,
I'll find that right now, but there's not one. That
yeah,
sounds good in a way.
and you can't. There's no impulse response. They've been very protective of that. You can't go in there and take an impulse response.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think, yeah, do you know what? It's nice for some things to remain a mystery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So if you want to play it in the tank, you have to come there. Well, maybe at one time I can come there. It would be wonderful if I'm over in the other side of the pond. Would be great if we ever allowed to come in. I don't know if I would be allowed in if I will pass all the checks. But you never know. I'll have to keep my mouth shut, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Which is bad, but true.
True. I think you just delete all the apps, don't you, and then reinstall them. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know. I have to try it. Oh my gosh! I mean, do you know what? I'm conscious of the time because it's been absolutely amazing to speak with you.
Same here.
Hear your thoughts and on music and life and everything. And yeah, thank you so much for your wonderful samples which you used for Spiral Dial. And I would love to have a jam in person at some point. I don't know if that can ever happen, but we hope it will.
That would be fun. That'd be a blast. Yeah.
Amazing. And just a couple of quick fire questions just to end. What's your favorite album right now?
What's my favorite album right now? Well, actually, Roland Kine, Kayn.
Mm-hmm.
He did cybernetic music in the 60s, 70s, and 80s at the Institute for Sonology, first in Utrecht and then in The Hague. And actually, one of my friends in Australia, in Sydney, he teaches at the University of New South Wales. He teaches like electronic music. And he and I are going to sit down later today.
Oh.
And there's a set of Roland Kine's, some of his music that's 15 CDs. And so we do 3-hour sections. So we're going to listen to it together, Australia and Ashland, for 3 hours this evening.
Ah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Cool. And are you going to be, you're both in your studios, so you have the proper sound system?
Exactly.
Oh, this sounds so lush. I love that. So yeah, and this is available online or not?
Yeah. It's all of his work's available on Bandcamp. So Roland Kine.
Nice. I have to check this out. And finally, what's your favorite instrument? Right now. It doesn't have to be a permanent answer. It could just be like today.
Well, shakuhachi and Buchla music easel, if I can choose two.
Yeah,
that's what I play every day, both of them. So
yeah, they're amazing. Oh, well, thank you so much, Todd. It's been wonderful to speak with you. And I'm gonna then stop the recording now.